The latest on the EgyptAir crash. Investigators are hoping the new debris they're retrieving could hold some answers as to why the airline went down in the Mediterranean. This comes as we are hearing the last exchange between the pilots and air traffic controllers. ABC's Matt Gutman joins us from Cairo with more. Hi, Matt.
Good morning, Paula. Just moments ago, we learned that the Egyptian president is deploying a submarine capable of diving about 10,000 feet to the search area. That's about the depth that it's believed the wreckage is lying at. Now, we talked about the recordings from those pilots. They are chillingly upbeat, given what was about to happen to them. This morning, as the grim visual confirmation of the flight's violent end grows, now the first audio of the moments just before the EgyptAir flight disintegrated.
Hello, EgyptAir 804, flight 7370.
That recording between the flight deck and the air traffic control tower coming early Thursday. The pilot's final words almost disturbingly routine.
EgyptAir 804, contact Padua 120.725. Good night.
This is 0725, better for control, EgyptAir 804. Thank you so much. Good day. Good night.
And so 4 days after the crash, investigators hoping finding debris and the wreckage could yield clues. These U.S. P-3 aircraft now on patrol 24 hours a day over the waters. As planes scout from above today, teams in small inflatables sent to scoop up the debris. The sad collection gathered on ship's deck. Warped pieces of metal with the EgyptAir logo. The ragged and waterlogged remnants of a seat. A life jacket that was never inflated. And also the possessions of the people that plane carried. Clothes, a woman's shoe, a purse. What you don't see, say Egyptian officials, are the human remains they found. As search crews scour the sea, families mourn. Grief bringing this grandmother to her knees as hundreds gathered at a Cairo church service to say farewell to Yana Hani Taufik, one of the flight crew's members. Now, even though EgyptAir behind me and the Egyptian government have not officially declared the 66 passengers and crew aboard that plane as dead, they have now all been mourned in funerals by their families. There's now literally no hope for survivors. Paula.
All right, Matt Gutman, thank you. And we'd like to bring in ABC News aviation contributor Steve Ganyard right now. Steve, good morning to you.
Good morning, Paula.
First and foremost, France's Bureau of Investigation says the transmissions don't tell us where the fire was or whether it was, quote, malevolent or something technical. In the evidence that you've seen so far, are you any closer to determining what took it down?
Well, I think we can say that we now have hard evidence that there was a mechanical problem on board the jet. Just a few days ago, everybody, including me, was saying that it was more likely a bomb. But now we have evidence that says something mechanically went wrong. Whether that was caused by a bomb or it was just plain mechanical, we need to figure that out.
And still no claim of responsibility by a terror group, but the New York Times this morning reporting, Stephen, that there was a cryptic message written on this particular plane in Arabic that said, quote, "We will bring this plane down." Now, this was written several years ago by aviation workers at Cairo's airport. So what do you make of this?
Not too much. That was during a time of domestic political unrest with the advent of the Al-Sisi regime, and it happened so long ago. I don't think it's relevant here. So the really thing that's telling here is we don't have a claim by a terror group. So it's sort of like a murder mystery. If you take away the motive, and you now have a logical explanation that may be a mechanical problem, you tend to lean towards the mechanical problem rather than something that would involve terror.
Yeah, that does make sense. As for the wreckage, we just heard in Matt Gutman's reporting that Egypt has dispatched a submarine to look for the crash site. Does this tell you they might be closer to discovering those black boxes?
Well, it's encouraging that the Egyptians are moving forward on the, they know that the time is ticking. We had that about 3 weeks left before those batteries in the pinger give out. So it's good that they're moving things into the area to find the black box. But you know, Paul, it's important to find this airplane, find out what went wrong, because if it's terror, we need to figure out why the who the terrorists were and why it might not happen again. But on the other hand, if this airplane has a problem, which if it was a mechanical problem, we need to figure that out too, because it's one of the most widely used airplanes in the world. So either way, we need to figure out what brought this airplane down.
All right, Steve Ganyard, thanks for joining us and thanks for the insight as usual.